Hi, Benny here. Part 4. Everything that is said and shown is fully backed with proof that can back my story. Any photos shown are all located or was displayed to the public at that point in time. So now let's get on with the show. Alright, so Ian has written here, guys, sit down, relax, grab some popcorn, and let's get ready for this. Part 4. So just a quick recap. The canteen manager has done everything asked of her, but Denny is just gunning the canteen manager, just spreading lies to the executives about her, which has now led to the following. Let's call this canteen manager Tracy. Now, as you can see in the photo in front of us, it's the 5 of us. I've turned my phone sideways so it's a better view for everyone. Gabby being the vice president. Tamara was also vice president. Shazma was the president. Benny, myself, was the secretary. And Danny, the treasurer. Okay. Now, because of what Denny had been saying about Tracy to the executives, it was decided that the canteen manager would be terminated after almost 12 odd years of service to the P&C. Right. Denny does say, you don't need to vote for terminations, but for new management or pay increases. This comment is just totally so wrong. If you do the actual research, like Denny said she did, you will see that she thinks she knows everything except nothing but bullshit comes out her mouth. She just leaves out the most important parts and fills your head full of just crap. Okay, next picture. Let's just blow this up a bit so you can read with me. So on the 19th of July, Denny says, I feel that after my digging around for information the past couple of days, it would not be right for me to present the termination letter. Of course not. Why would she? This part here also, Denny, she says, hang on a minute, I might have jumped a bit too far, but anyway, Denny always liked to keep in the background controlling things, and she did not want the fingers pointed at her for anything she did, as we believe she knew what she was doing was wrong, but wanted us to take the blame. She's a vindictive bitch. This part she wrote, say in other words, we are a team. It wasn't me, it was all of us. So it says, what's it say on there? It says, I would hands down, but like I said, seeing I've been the one scooping up things, it just wouldn't be right, as there will be talk thereafter as is, and the fingers will be pointed either way. But if we are questioned, we need to ensure we give the same response. Okay, so, and this next picture is also an example. The part where she says, we are a team, it wasn't me, it was all of us. She pushes a lot. Here's another example. All right, so this pretty much covers most of all of this, right? Hey, crew, when are we thinking of handing the termination? I know Friday, but when? I would say best be at the end of the day. End of shift. Hang on, let's get a look at this. And she be walked out of the canteen just to avoid tension between the staff and lack of productive for the day. Oh my goodness, she's just one criminal, right? We really need to escort this lady out. Even after all her dedication of work, we still need to escort this bloody lady out. She's a danger to us all. It was suggested that the executive email the committee about this, but Denny again says if we email the committee, the canteen manager will find out before we can hand her termination letter. So again, Denny decides that what to do instead of the committee. The next day, the principal says, been informed that the canteen manager is looking at resigning. Okay, so my next picture is, let's just blow this up. This was the VP. All right. She says, I'm reading at the moment off paper that Ian's written, but it says here, if we can confidently say we have addressed these things, OH&S problems, with her multiple times, we should be okay. All right, well, we all took Denny's word that these things had been addressed several times. But Denny lied and never talked to the canteen manager multiple times at all. Let's have a look here. Her comments to Gabby's question there. She says, thought I can't remember the exact date. Of course not. When I discussed this with her at the canteen, as she approached me, but was literally the day after the last, I think, P&C meeting. Kayla and Benny are my witnesses. Woohoo! Well, in fact, Denny never discussed these problems at all with Tracy, ever. I'm only a witness to hearing Tracy agreeing to shopping around, nothing more, as I was busy cooking the school kids' pancakes. Heard no issues or warnings, and from what we saw, was quite a friendly chat. Denny stated that she did all the digging around about the canteen manager. You would believe that Denny would have found out the correct procedures, as it is an employee, not just a volunteer, that was being terminated. Denny never thought about Tracy's entitlements, like long service leave, if she was terminated. Denny was also so fixated on removing the canteen manager because she had so much hate towards her. So Denny would say anything she could to make Tracy sound as if she wasn't qualified to work, or even after no problems in her 12 years of service. We have found out that after a little investigation, and what Denny should have found was the P&C executive does not have the authority to terminate a P&C employee. This power usually resides with the broader P&C association or committee, often requiring a resolution at a general and special meeting to ensure compliance with the P&C's constitution and employment laws. The executive's role is to implement decisions made by the members, and the termination of an employee is a significant decision that requires proper process and adherence to employment conditions, such as relevant awards and contracts. Our first executive meeting with the principal at McDonald's about this should never have happened. The canteen manager was given no warning letters or official warning at all. In almost 13 years, Tracy has worked without any prior problems. So before Tracy was to receive her termination letter, I suggested this. On the 20th of July, let me skip to the next picture. Right up here, I wrote, do you think we should give her some flowers or chocolates as a thank you for her time? Or would you think she'd throw them at us? Just trying to work out how to be nice after years of being there. Any ideas? Denny says, okay, let me just skip over to hers. Denny responds to me. Here we go. As you can see, my comment above. She says, where are we? I'm sorry, you say what? I personally think that after the 6 months, she is really deserving. I say no. She puts us in negative gearing with no care factor to it, instead amped up her spendings. Okay, well, that was bullshit. She didn't do any such thing as that. Then we scroll down. There's another part to her part here. Okay, so if you really want to go and buy her a massage voucher for the stress that she was going through in the past 6 months, my goodness, she was going through stress in the past 6 months. She goes, well, I had to spend it out of my own bank account if I wanted to treat her, Denny's saying here. So the P&C wasn't going to help. Denny put a stop to that. P&C was not going to do nothing for Tracy. If anything at all, it was coming out of my own pocket because I wanted to do something nice for her. You know, how wrong is that? You treat people with respect. You know, this lady's been with us for a long time. Anyway, Tracy was at the school for over 12 years and Denny is here for what, 5 minutes, causing problems, lying and being dishonest with not a care in the world about destroying someone's life or livelihood just because she did not like or control them or couldn't control them. It is just common decency that you give an employee something for all the years of service. But Denny could not give two shits at all. How low can one person be? So the next day, let's skip to the next picture here. The next day, where are we up to? I'll just scroll this because that bottom part is coming up to something else. The principal says you will find that canteen manager is handing in her resignation this afternoon. It was Friday afternoon, last working day of the week, and today was the day Tracy was getting her letter. Okay, now let me just skip over for the next one. Where are we here? Here we go. I said, as this is now happening, do we need to give it to her, meaning the termination letter, and if by some chance it does not happen, meaning Tracy leaving, then we can always give it to her on Monday. You know, so there was no point, let me move the mouse, there was no point handing her a termination letter if she was already looking at quitting. Right, so as you can see, pause, screenshot, whatever, read my comment. All right, next part says, let's go back up here for a second. Denny says, OMG, the canteen manager is saying she's not in today, so you need to track her down. The power Denny thinks she has, or she thought she had at the time, expects us to be like, what, Dog the Bounty Hunter and obey to her command? Right. Okay, let's go over to the next one. All right, so Denny says, thanks to the principal for letting us know, but either way is doomsday. Her picture, the end is near. All right, so Shazma gave her opinion, and it was that the canteen manager is telling us what we want to hear. All right, now Shazma's picture, what she said. Now, hers is a big one, so give us a minute to go through this. She says, guys, my opinion is Tracy is telling us what we want to hear. If she doesn't hand in her resignation today and we do this Monday, then we have to change the dates on the letters and push Kayla back further for her start date, which isn't good as Kayla is on the urge to retract her proposal. What a load of bullshit. As she's not getting an answer from us. I don't think this should be put aside just because someone said, I'm doing this now. How can we guarantee this? What happens if she doesn't do it? Oh my goodness, what happens? The world dies. I don't know. What do we do? I think we should hand it out today. Still, and then if she doesn't do it, we still have that plan B that's been done and in place. Does this make sense to anyone? Oh, hell no. Anyway, of course, Denny has her say about it. Let's see what she says. I couldn't agree more, Shazma, as we can't take her word for it. What time is her shift finish? I think if we don't get it by then we give her the letter so we can have a fresh start. Okay. Let's go by that, shall we? Anyway, at 10:50 a.m., Benny said that Kayla, who was the other employee in the canteen under Tracy, and who was also replacing Tracy, informed me that she had cleaned out her stuff already. So Kayla was on the phone to me as she was down at Coles shopping, while Tracy was still at the canteen packing up. Shazma says, okay, next picture it says here, as you guys know I'm reading, so next picture says, guys, I'm not stuffing around with this. We need Kayla and we are about to lose her if we don't put things into place. OMG. You know, the fact is, Kayla was not going anywhere. Kayla had a lot to do with Tracy being terminated, with filling our heads with sob stories, writing letters to the P&C executives, giving us better offers and replacing Tracy with herself. More about Kayla soon though, even though this was supposed to be about Kayla this round, but I had to finish off Tracy's story. So this woman, Kayla, is another 10-faced bitch that we all witnessed. All right, now back to the canteen for a minute. At 2:15, hang on, it says I've got to change picture again. At 2:15, right, the canteen manager was handed a termination letter from the P&C by Shazma. So as you can see here, it says, here now. So green is me, as you know. Denny says, good luck. Shazma says, letter has been given, door in face and locked us out of canteen. Oh, here goes the big drama. Okay, I'm just reading because half of this that's written on these messages is written in this page. So after Tracy received the letter, she closed the door and locked it from the inside. Denny, being the person she is, hounded us for answers on every moment that passed with updates on what was going on. Man, she was saying, make sure you film it. Make sure you can get everything you can. We want proof. We want whatever. It was just a big, high friggin' bullshit. Anyway. Where are we here? Okay, so Denny says, what the fuck? You need to tell her to open the door or you will have no choice but to call authorities. Is Kayla in there? I said, yes. Denny says, this isn't good. Go get the spare keys if there are any. Hello, it's locked from the inside. Stupid idiot. Where am I? Down here, reading. Okay, yeah, so go get the spare keys. Right, next page. Skip it over, next page. All right, let's blow it up so you can see it a bit better. Shazma says, Kayla is in there. We're gonna wait and get the keys from the office for the canteen. Another dopey bitch that thinks she can open up a door that's locked from the inside. All right, I said, we can't get in. It's locked on the inside. Oh, look, voila, look, you know, if only they read me. Gabby says, if Kayla is in there, why isn't she unlocking it? Yeah, good point, Gabby. Why the fuck isn't she opening that door? Denny says, get the keys and get in, otherwise you will have to tell her you're calling the cops if she doesn't. Hello, Denny, we've just told you it's locked on the inside. Wow, she's very smart. Anyway, our principal says that she's contacted H. Now, I'm not going to say these names because, it's, you know, this is getting shared everywhere. H is the vice principal of the school. Let's just leave it there. All right, so, well, let's think on this for a second anyway. In our guesses, Kayla is probably just talking with Tracy in one of her many phases, probably feeling on top of the world as she knows she's just won and taking over poor Tracy's job. Tracy had just received a termination letter and she would have been upset, actually more of a meltdown in my opinion. Denny just blew things out of proportion. The canteen manager was just given some bad news. The school principal was sending vice principal to see Tracy as they were friends and the principal was not at the school that day. Alright, next picture. Let's continue this bullshit. Anyway, so as the principal says, he's contacted somebody. I said, we're just giving her time to adjust. Fuck, we just gave her something that destroyed her life, right? Denny's thanking the principal. Anyway, Gabby says, why isn't Kayla just unlocking the door? Good question, Gabby. Why the fuck isn't she just opening the door and just walking out? Nothing was going on. Just Tracy having a meltdown. She needed fucking help. Who was there to help her? Oh, no one. Of course not. No, because this is a siege, or this is whatever hostage situation Denny's made out to everybody. You'll see that in a minute. Oh shit, I better stop for a second. Sorry, I pause the video every couple of seconds just in case something stuffs up so I can put it all together. So that's why I said I had to pause for a second. All right, getting back into it. So let's put this in perspective, shall we? Kayla is not some fragile little woman, and the canteen manager does not have a gun, knife, or explosive device. Tracy was just a fragile lady who was just destroyed by a termination. How was she supposed to act? All smiles and thankful? Then he just destroyed this poor lady's life with nothing but lies. Right, Danny says, of course. Let's go back here. I think I've read this one. Yeah, so principal's on the way. All right, now, just, the same thing. I think, yeah, she's here now. Anyway, Denny says, what's going on? Everyone is safe and good? I see Tracy escorted out by H. Right, our vice principal of the school escorted Tracy out. What a load of crap. All right, okay, another exaggeration by Denny, of course. She's got to make it sound good, right? They just walked out together. She was concerned about Tracy. She was not in a good way and was definitely not being escorted out. Gabby asked, is Kayla okay? Gabby at least was thinking of Kayla. Shazma said Kayla is goof. She was definitely fucking goofy, trust me. But she was good, in other words. All right, next picture. Now, this is written by Shazma. Shazma says, what an afternoon. Just an update. Tracy has now cleaned out and taken all of her stuff out. Stuff only in the canteen. She's handed in the keys to the office, which is in the canteen, which is the canteen key and the gate key, and has officially left and not returning next week. Okay, so that was the end of Tracy, so to speak. Now, yes, her entitlement. She's due for her entitlements, right? All right, well, let's keep going, shall we? Next picture. Yeah, come on, don't freeze on me yet. All right. Oh, hang on, sorry, we have to get this part done, shall we? Let's see. Danny says, yes, it's been an intense week for all, and great job in delivering, Shaz and Benny, as we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, especially a hostage situation. LOL. I mean, it's not funny, but who would have thought? A little scary, but everyone was okay and safe in the end. Okay, let's rewind again. Put things in perspective. Kayla was never a fucking hostage. She could have walked out at any time. Oh, my goodness. Okay, the rest of Danny's bloody words. P.S. Remember, everyone. Oh, hang on. Yes, we've got to remember. Everyone questions this is a joint executive decisions. Oh, yes, of course, Danny. We'll take your blame. Don't worry. As rumours are about to start and fingers pointed. Of course they are. Of course they are. We've got your back, Danny. We'll take your bullshit. We'll take your blame. We did anyway. So, anyway. Her termination letter. Let's have a look at that, shall we? Termination letter. Let's skip over, shall we? Okay, so everything's been blocked out. Anything that's personal and everything has been blocked. So everyone is safe. All right, her termination. I'm not worried about reading this part here, but let's see why she was destroyed. Okay, let's have a look. The first part here says management of staff. Having employees work when not required. Low amount of lunch orders. What the fuck, huh? All right, so it was not Tracy's job to cut down workers' hours. It was the P&C's committee's job to vote on that. Tracy had no control over that. But no, hang on, that was part of her termination. Pretty sad, huh? All right, what's the next one? Having a baby in canteen. Okay, so no warning letters was written or verbal ever given to the canteen manager about the baby, right? Nothing ever. And not complying with PPE standards. Well, there was no mention of the PPE, and if there was, the canteen manager had a doctor's note about this. No problem with it at all. Only now. All right, let's see here. Not willing to shop around and find cheaper products. Okay, let's look here. Tracy was always happy to shop around, and when asked, she always said yes. But any changes to suppliers have to be approved by the P&C or the canteen subcommittee. Denny suggested Costco, but she never mentioned. This was never mentioned in any committee meeting though, and Denny never got the application forms to fill out. So why is this canteen manager's fault? It's not. All right, what's this one? Not willing to assist with P&C improvements to the canteen. All right, so the P&C improvements to the canteen were the changes to the menu. That was it. Any changes to the canteen menu would not be done by the canteen manager, as this was sorted on the OneDrive, which is only accessible by the executives. She never refused to order stock except when it was towards the holidays, but it was not a refusal. She was concerned about ordering because, as mentioned in the canteen subcommittee, she was worried suppliers would not get their pay. The canteen manager should never, ever have been terminated. What a load of crap to have been put through, huh? All right, so yes, me and Ian, we did have a hand in this termination letter. But we believe the lies that Denny and Kayla had told us, and the other executives, of course. But for this, we ourselves are truly sorry to the canteen manager, Tracy. We have told her this and also tried to help her out by trying to get entitlements that she was owed, and contacted Fair Trading to see what could be done, as well as the P&C Federation. They are a useless bunch of fucks. Anyway, this caused Tracy a very bad breakdown. Now, Tracy, as you know, has just been terminated for having a baby in the canteen without any warning, right? That's what it says right here. Where is it? Having a baby in canteen, right here. Okay. Now, Kayla is now in charge, right? Now, we're going to get to Kayla soon. Trust me, it's going to be good. Kayla is in charge now. All right, so I wrote, "Hi, guys." Where have I got it up here? Just keeping track of my own writing down on here. Kayla's first day had 2 students in the canteen helping her out after I had told her that she could not have them in there due to insurance reasons and work safety, or workplace safety. And Tracy was removed for the same exact bloody thing, except her kid that she had was not handling the bloody food. Anyway, I said, hi guys, I know Kayla is now running the canteen, and she mentioned that she wanted the students in there to help her. But I did tell her on Friday last week that she couldn't for insurance and workplace safety. Today she had 2 young ones in the canteen work with her. So if you want her to be allowed without having us getting shut down, as I know Tamara, the big mouth woman over there that likes to stick her nose into everyone's business and cause problems, will be the first to attack. The insurance will need to change the kids and let the kids, change, and the kids that were serving pizzas will need something like training in food safety. I really don't want us all doing this wrong for a reason of losing the canteen. I did say something, but my words mean nothing. Oh hell, I'm not trying to get her in trouble, just trying to keep us all safe and do it, let's finish my convo, and do it right. I found the rules, I have read and decided what is best caused same issues with Tracy, except these two girls were a little older than the baby. So this was my information on the school safety kit, or whatever you call it, the canteen. Anyway, so the canteen manager who just got terminated over the canteen manager who just got terminated never allowed kids to handle food or work in the canteen, as everyone knows it's not allowed. But you see, Kayla is special. She is very special. She got what she wanted, and she also doing what she wanted, even knowing all the rules for the canteen health and safety. Kayla just didn't listen to me, even after I had told her a few times that she could not have kids in the canteen. Gabby says, let's go to Gabby's comment on the next page. I said, sorry, let's back myself up a little bit here. You can also see where it says, we pretty much removed Tracy for part the same reason, but these ones were handling food. I don't want more drama hitting our team right now. Gabby also says, yes, we can't really allow Kayla to do that. She might be managing this canteen, but we are still her employer. And I said, yes, I told her she couldn't, but she didn't listen to me. I will have to leave it with higher grounds. Shazma, hey lazy Shazma, come sort out this fucking issue. Okay, so I found out the rules and found that you have to change the insurance, which would then cost more money. So kids are not allowed in the canteen unless the insurance was changed. So I sent these rules to Kayla, showing her. Shazma, all right, let's go to Shazma's comment. Okay, I've just put in a little bit here. She says, honestly, with what I am hearing and seeing now, I am not happy with both sides. Now, what the fuck does that mean? She's not happy with both sides. Both sides meaning what? You know, as you can see, I'm asking, not happy. What do you mean? I said it's an OH&S thing. Hang on, you'll see I wrote that. Shazma's just saying leave it with her. All right, I said here. I said it's an OH&S thing. Our insurance does not cover kids in canteen. It can shut us down. So Shazma says, I have read what Benny sent. Hang on. Okay, it's just the bottom part. So we don't have to go too far. Zoom it back out a little bit. Says, I've read what Benny has sent. If I have read it right, I can be allowed only with a meeting with both parties, P&C and canteen, with the principal. Like I said, I'm not happy about the whole thing, so just leave it with me so I can wrap my head around it. Okay. By golly, is she dumb or what? Sorry, but life is what it gives, isn't it? She says, I have spoken to Kayla and given her a warning. She was stuck between being a mum and being a canteen lady. It won't happen again. So, basically, Kayla gets a warning and nothing happens, yet the other canteen manager gets terminated. Also, Shazma has no idea about insurance work, how it works. She just thinks if we just have a meeting, it'll all be okay. Oh, if only it was that easy, right? All right, next page here. Who is this? Shazma. Oh, no. This isn't Shazma. This is Danny. Danny has to have her 5 cents, of course. Oh, sorry, well, her 5 cents. Her 99.9% of it, that's got to go her way. All right, so now, Denny. Though I'm going to bat on both sides at the moment, having the kids included is lovely and keep it all in-house. This may be good to go under their work experience. On the flip side, we need to be consistent with the policies and guidelines. So Denny now wants kids in the canteen. So, how do we keep up with this, right? How do we keep it up? All right, now, next picture here. Oh my goodness. Later that night, I receive a message from Shazma saying, put me in the agenda for the P&C meeting, my resignation. She couldn't handle it anymore. It was all too much for our little Shazma, with Denny going over the top of her and not being able to control her roles as the P&C president, even though she slept most of the time and didn't participate with much going on. Now, Shazma was different, but she turned out to be an asshole in the end, towards me, using me, begging for money. I'll give you a couple of little, here you go, messages that she would send. There's one of them, begging for money. You know, the type of friend that you could do without. I did everything for her, as I wanted her to be a friend, you know. But as I said, she turned in the end. There's one, and here you see my poor husband sitting here. The only thing we had was coins. So she was happy to pay it back, of course. Wasn't the first time, but anyway. So definitely not somebody I wanted in my life. Now, after her last message, her last message was it for me. This was the last time. This was actually on my birthday. Right? She made promises. She said she was going to do shit with me, whatever else. Go out for dinner, I believe. I ended up just going out for dinner with the kids anyway. She says, babe, I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you today. Are you okay? I said, yep. She goes, are you sure? She says, I feel bad for not being there for you. I said, you're just like the others. But I'm glad your daughter was well enough to go on Thomas. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. She had her daughter downtown riding around on some Thomas that was going around the shopping centres. Anyway, here she says, okay, if you're going to be an ass, you can go fuck yourself. See ya. And to think I was going to get you a present to make up for it. You know, no fucking way if you're going to speak to me like that. How the fuck did I speak to her? Did you see anything bad say? You know, I said fucking nothing. She goes, so happy fucking birthday to you. No wonder you were alone. I wasn't alone. I had my family with me. It's more than enough. I don't need trash like her. But after that comment anyway, I blocked her. So that was the end. I wasn't going for any more of her bullshit crap. Alright, now number 35. We're up to 35 pick. Let's have a look here. Let's see what this one is. Alright, yes. Gabby says, wondering whether we put the notice out now to hopefully get people coming in and putting their hands up. You know, we had how many positions available now? 2? I believe we had 2 positions. Hang on a minute. Here comes Denny suggesting putting it only in the P&C committee chat. Oh, why is that? Okay, there's part of it, but let me go to the full. All right, she says, where am I up to? All right, so Denny says, suggesting putting it only in the P&C committee chat and not on social media for all to see, but just advertising the meeting only. I don't think the world needs to see re-voting for members. I'm just thinking we don't need other school committees talking, etc. All right, now let me just see what she's got here. You know, save the social media for the upcoming meeting. I said it may just bring in new faces, you know. Gabby's off driving somewhere, and Denny says, maybe just amp it up. I don't think the world needs to know we're voting again for members. I just think the other school committee's talking about it. She doesn't want it. Not for anyone else, you know. It's just, she just wants to keep it between, what was there, maybe 5 people in the community. Well, I mean, the committee, only 5, maybe 10 if you're lucky. She's just wanted to keep all this information between our little group. You know, she didn't want anyone else joining the P&C. It was just about her. So again, Denny wants to keep things secret. Yep, top secret, Denny strikes again. By right, any position available should be advertised to the whole school community and community in general. Gabby says the president's resignation isn't meant to be a big secret anyway. The P&C is for the school and community, not some top secret organisation. Any position in the executive team should be published and advertised in the community for all people to apply. We are not allowed to because Denny says so. Whatever Denny says, it has to go, right? Otherwise, she's going to fight you and kick you out and whatever else, as you will see how our story goes. All right, now I have to go back to Tracy for a sec on this. So on the crap Denny was going on behind closed doors. Now here's a few little things that nobody knew about Denny. Or you probably did, but don't want to really believe it, right? Well, it's here. Now, if you haven't worked it out already, Denny required Tracy to do her job that the treasurer, along with agreement from the P&C executives and canteen committee, were arranged and put in place for Tracy to follow. This was not Tracy's job to shop around for suppliers. It was the canteen committee's job, which was controlled by Denny's say-so, like everything else. It was getting to the point where Denny was telling the employees that she was either going to pay for the invoices for the food orders or pay the employees. She was not going to pay for both. Having the extra employees that were hired by Tamara at the start of that year caused a lot of strain on that canteen, as Tamara raised the prices of the canteen food towards the kids, so the employees could be paid. Tamara didn't think that price increase, and it wasn't a small jump, was affecting parents and not being able to buy food from the canteen for kids' lunches. And because parents couldn't afford to pay, no money was coming in to cover Tamara's choices. It crashed and employees suffered. So on the 18th of July, 3 days before Tracy was served, Jody, who was the other employee, reached out to Denny after Denny's threat of not paying both employees and suppliers.